Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a closer look, a real deep dive, into a true giant of literature, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. We've got a really insightful review here that we've been looking at. It does more than just summarize. It really analyzes the novel, giving us a great way to explore why it's still so relevant.
Exactly. Our goal here is to pull out the key takeaways from this analysis, not just what makes it a classic, but really understand why these themes, these characters, still connect with us so strongly. I mean, it was first published way back in 1813.
And this review really drives home that it's so much more than just a simple romance. You've got this amazing blend of social commentary, sharp wit, and yes, romance too. Okay, so let's unpack this. The review kicks off by calling Pride and Prejudice a witty, sharp, and keenly observed social commentary wrapped in a romantic novel. It really zooms in on those societal rules and expectations of the British gentry in the early 19th century. You know, that whole world.
Right, and the core themes aren't just like background decoration, they're woven right into the plot. We're talking love, class, marriage, and of course, Pride and Prejudice themselves. These really power the whole story forward.
So the story mainly follows Elizabeth Bennet. She's the intelligent, spirited one, and Mr. Darcy, who's, wealthy and quite reserved.
And their first meeting, as the analysis points out, definitely have sparks, but not in a typical romantic fashion. Not at all. Their whole relationship starts off just, well, riddled with misunderstandings, societal pressures, and frankly, personal flaws. It sets up a really interesting dynamic from the get-go.
And those flaws are right there in the title, aren't they? Elizabeth has this immediate prejudice against Darcy because he seems so aloof, maybe arrogant.
Yeah, and the review notes how that kind of mirrors how quick society was to judge back then, too.
Exactly. And then Darcy's got his pride, which,
Right.
well, it blinds him to Elizabeth's worth, and he doesn't quite get the nuances of her social standing, at least not at first. It's a real clash.
But what's fascinating, and the analysis highlights this really well, is how both of them grow. They change. Elizabeth starts to, question her initial judgments, look past those first impressions.
And Darcy.
Darcy softens his pride. He becomes more open, more humble. It's not just about falling in love. Their journey is described as this dance of self-awareness. They have to understand themselves before they can understand each other.
That's a great way to put it. And beyond them, the review looks at these bigger themes. Let's start with class and social status. The analysis says Austen critically examines the rigid class structures of her day.
Oh, absolutely. That desire for advantageous marriages, it's shown as both a necessity and a constraint, especially for women who had such limited avenues for independence. Marriage wasn't just romance. Often it was economic survival.
Which brings us back to Pride and Prejudice as a theme itself. The review kind of circles back, saying these aren't just their flaws, but maybe they represent flaws in society too. Their journey is about facing those shortcomings to find real happiness.
And then there's marriage and morality. The novel shows marriage as, well, not merely as a romantic union, but as an economic and social transaction, quite often.
That's pretty stark.
It is. Austen contrasts those superficial matches, based on money or looks, with the deeper connections that are built on mutual respect and understanding. She really shows the difference.
And here's something the review really emphasized: the women's role in society. Austen is, it seems, subtly critiquing just how few options women had, how marriage was often the only path to a secure future.
Right. It's quite a powerful critique, even if subtle. But Elizabeth Bennet stands out, doesn't she? She's presented as this counterexample, a character who really values intellect and integrity over wealth and status.
She definitely pushes back against expectations.
She does. Her choices are quite radical for the time.
Now, what about Austen's writing style? The analysis calls her prose elegant, laced with irony and social commentary.
And the dialogue. It highlights the sharp dialogue, particularly between Elizabeth and Darcy. That's what adds vibrancy, makes it more than just plot. It's where the wit and the intellectual sparring really happen.
You can really hear them talking. And the supporting characters. The review mentioned them too.
Yes, they're crucial. Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, for example, provide comic relief, sure, but also a critique of parental responsibilities, or lack thereof sometimes.
Yes. And Jane and Bingley.
They're the more conventional romantic subplot, based on kindness and mutual affection. A simpler kind of love story playing out alongside the main one.
And then the opposite end.
Right, Lydia Bennet and Mr. Wickham, they're held up as cautionary figures against impulsive and superficial matches. They show the potential fallout from bad choices and societal pressures.
So looking at the big picture, the impact and legacy, the analysis is clear. Pride and Prejudice is more than just a love story. It's called a perceptive exploration of human behavior, social mobility, and personal growth.
And that's why it endures. Its themes remain relevant today, which fuels its enduring popularity. Think of all the adaptations, films, TV shows, modern books.
Countless.
Exactly. The review gives it a top rating, a 55, citing that brilliant storytelling, rich characters, and enduring relevance. It just keeps speaking to us.
So wrapping this up, our deep dive really confirms that Pride and Prejudice is this incredible, timeless story. It mixes romance, sharp satire, and really insightful social critique so skillfully. You get memorable characters, moral depth, and just wonderful writing.
And maybe a final thought to leave with you. If you think about it, how many of those pressures, the societal expectations, the tricky business of first impressions, figuring out relationships and what success means, how many of those things from early 19th century England still echo, maybe in different ways, in our own lives today?
That's a really interesting question to ponder. It certainly makes you think. We definitely encourage you to reflect on this classic, maybe pick it up again, or check out one of the many great adaptations and see how these timeless ideas keep finding new forms.